And we are live. Hey, everybody. We're so excited. First night on our channel, The Flippin Bunch. Yes. We did it, and we could not have done it without your guys' help. Thank you all so much for sharing and spreading the word and getting us to 50 subscribers so we're able to do this on our channel. We appreciate you guys so much, and we love you. So tonight, our topic will be top coat sealers. So I really went down a rabbit hole with this one. I was thinking, what are we going to talk about? How
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Crystal froze. Well.
Oh, wow. She's literally a crystal.
Well, let's go ahead and let's introduce ourselves. My lights just turned out.
Okay, there we go. All right, we're back. Okay.
We went to Darnia.
We all went to Darnia today. Oh, no. Okay. So we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. So we'll go ahead and start with Dar over there next to me.
Hello. I am Dar from DIYs by Dar. I am a furniture artist for the last 4 years. I've been an artist all my life, but after I retired, I needed something to keep my mind busy and for my autoimmune disorders to keep my body active and my mind off of pain. And over the last 4 years, I have now become a pretty much maximalist. It's hard for me to pare down, but I certainly try to. So is Kat below me?
Yes.
It is like the Brady Bunch.
It is.
Hi, I'm Kat from Owling Dog, and I do refinishing, restoration, and different kinds of art.
Perfect.
Aren't
you going to give it to me here?
Oh, you're pointing the right way.
Oh, wrong way.
I wish I could see my hand over there.
I'm Levon, and I have Statement Designs, and it was formerly La Vintage Decor. That was the name of my business when I started over 10 years ago. And it started out as a design business, and I always kind of focused on budget-friendly decor. And then when I opened a shop, I started selling Dixie Belle paint, and then I started painting furniture, and I found out that I really loved that, and that was my canvas, and that was the way I was going to express myself, and I haven't stopped since. And since then, I've sold Iron Orchid Designs products in the studio, and then, well, I'm going to call it a studio anymore, and now it's a room. Sell that, and also a small selection of Made by Marley decoupage papers, of which I'm a brand ambassador. So that's all I have to say.
All right, that's your story, and you're sticking to it, right?
Except for hi to our guests. I didn't get to say hi to everybody.
All right, everybody. I am the Crafty Creech. My name is Crystal, and
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jenna just made me laugh like crazy.
I thought you were laughing at me.
I know. I saw that.
No, because I was fixing my light and I was showing my armpit, and Jenna says, "Today, Dar, beautiful underarm."
Oh gosh! Oh,
I'm sorry, Crystal.
It's okay. So I am also like Levon. I have been bitten by that bug, and I'm obsessed with furniture art and flipping furniture, and I started about 13, 14-ish years ago, and just to furnish my house, and then it just kept growing into a business, and I love it. I love all things vintage. I love thrifting and flipping thrifts, and I'm a reseller, so lots of different, I guess, things that I do here. I like to resell things, and I don't know. I love it all. It's good. It's fun. So, like I said, we are going to talk about top coats today, and I really went down the rabbit hole with this. I was worried we weren't going to have enough to talk about for a full hour, but there are a lot of different top coats and sealers, and we have all used different products. And I'm sure we have all had different experiences about it with them. And if you guys have used anything, let us know in the chat there, and what your experiences are with them. Um, every paint brand seems like it has its own sealer product. And there's different formulas, like polyurethane has like a triple thick formula, or like a diamond formula. There's spray cans of like polyurethane lacquer and stuff like that. And then there's also different sheens. We have the matte, we have gloss, we have satin, and there's flat. Is there any other ones that I'm missing? Do you guys know? Did I get them all? Flat, matte,
Gloss.
satin, and gloss. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 that I know of. My favorite personally is like matte or flat. I don't really go with the gloss too much myself, but and then there's different
I'm kind
ways.
of a satin lover.
Yeah, I like satin too. I feel like satin's easier to clean, and you also kind of get that matte look, so just for cleaning purposes and everything, I do probably, I stick between the satin and the matte products myself. And then of course there's different ways to apply them. I have never used a sprayer to apply mine. I don't know if you guys have. Have you ever used a sprayer to apply your sealers? Okay. Dar, you have?
I never have.
Yeah. The only time I've used it in a sprayer is in like a spray can. So I've never.
Oh, you said sprayer. I thought you said
sprayer.
a brayer. And I'm like, wow, that's
sprayer.
different. I was thinking I used a brayer for paint, but not for sealer. Not my thing.
Yeah. And then there's also like you can use a roller and a brush and a foam sponge, of course. I like to use, I don't know if you guys have ever tried this before. These type of sponges. I like those ones. Those ones are good. I guess my only beef with them are sometimes they feel like they get a little foamy, and they seem to suck up a lot of the top coat product. So it's kind of seems like it might be a little bit wasteful.
Well, I usually wet mine with water first. If you're working with a water-based sealer, like wet it and then wring it out and then do it. And it doesn't seem to
soak it up so much. Okay,
Yeah.
That's a good tip. Yeah, I've never tried that. And I don't really feel like they last very long, maybe like 2 or 3 uses until they start falling apart and you get like little blue sponge pieces in your sealer. At least that's my experience anyways. And then rolling the sealer on. I don't know which way you guys like it best, but I usually brush mine on. That's usually my go-to way. So, all right, Levon, I have your list of your products here. And since you are a Dixie Belle retailer, I'm sure you use a lot of Dixie Belle products. If you can walk us through your list here. And
Sure. Yeah. So my Jenna says spray.
I figured
So my experience is mainly with Dixie Belle because I've been selling it for 10 years. So I obviously don't, go out to seek other products. But they do have the flat, the satin, and the gloss, and they are water-based sealers. They also have the wax, which you can use as a sealer in the clear and the colored wax. They also have the scented Big Mama's Butter, which is great for inside drawers and stuff, but you can also use it as a sealer. And then there is the Easy Peasy Spray Wax. Now, my opinion on that is it's great if I'm in a hurry and I'm trying to get a piece done. It's really good for, floating my colored wax on top of it. But I don't feel like it's a long-term thing Can you
Okay.
put my thing back up again? Because I
Sure thing. Absolutely.
okay, so I kind of forgot where I was at.
No
Um,
worries.
yeah, so then gator hide, which is a water resistant sealer. So that one is pretty good.
Okay. I've never
They,
used any Dixie Belle sealers, so this
oh
is
yeah, so
good
this
info.
one, it is water resistant, and the only beef that they did improve the formula. People used to complain about it a little bit, but the main problem was like when you use a really dark color like black, and then you use the sealer over it. The fix for that is to put a couple drops of your paint in with the sealer, and that takes any kind of weird film away. So
Okay.
that's really a hint to use with any kind of sealer if you're having
Yeah.
that problem.
With the polyurethane and polyacrylic, I do that quite often for my top coat. I'll just add a little bit of the paint in it just to I don't know, it just helps it with streaks and things like that is what it seems like. It goes on more smoothly.
Yeah. So just a couple other quick things. Like, so I did a dining room set for a client, and it was kind of weird because it was like handed off to me from another furniture painter, and the products were already purchased. So I was like, oh, can I do this? But the price was pretty good. So I said, yeah, I can suck it up. So I did.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was Jolie, and it was varnish, and I loved it. So I, don't, again, like I said, with being a retailer for Dixie Belle, um, I'm pulling my notes back up. You keep taking them from me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put them back in. Okay. I thought you were going to talk about the Jolie for a minute. Sorry.
That's okay. No, but anyway, I really liked it. And I know, Kat, you guys can talk more about varnish because that was my only experience with it, but I really did like it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you a quick story about one time I did. So in my one store, there was this, it was like a really old, like tile on the floor, and it was torn up. And I was like, I was just so sick of looking at it. I taped it off and used Quickcrete and just like did a skim coat all over it. Well, then we decided we were going to paint a rug on it. So we did. It was really cool. And it's somewhere on my TikTok page. It is really cute. But then I thought I used a water-based sealer, which was stupid because then people came in during the winter and went back to look at paint, and that just like their wet, feet pulled that cement right up. So
Oh,
that was a mess.
man.
So just keep that in mind when you're using water-based stuff. Not good, when you have a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know we were going to talk about stains and paints that have built-in sealers all in one formula. And I do use hemp seed oil lots of times on tabletops as a sealer because it is food safe. So that on that and cutting boards. So you
Okay.
can
So
take
what?
my notes away.
Okay, I can take it away. I have a picture of the Jolie varnish here, the polyurethane, and I have this hemp oil here, but is this the same thing you use, like hemp oil, or is it hemp seed oil?
It's well, let me think a second. It's Dixie Belle's, but
Okay.
it's hemp. Is it hemp seed oil? It's
I
how do
don't
you
know if
do
there's a
hemp seed?
difference.
Now, let me look real quick.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know if there's a difference. I have used this hemp oil myself, and I really like using the hemp oil. Um, it's it's really easy to apply. You just wipe it on, and what I like about the hemp oil is it seals into the pores versus over top of the surface.
mhm. Yeah, it
So,
is hemp seed oil with
okay,
the Dixie Belle.
okay,
But yeah, like you put it on and it really absorbs it. Like you come back the next day and it really absorbs it. But if it when you keep doing that until you come back and there's product that's not absorbed, then you know it's done drinking. So then you can wipe that up and you're
Yeah,
done.
it's like a 30-day cure time, isn't it, or something like that. It's been a long time since I used it, but I used to use it all the time.
Yeah.
So, and Gretchen said she's had a hard time getting a real smooth finish on her kitchen cabinets with Miniwax polyacrylic clear matte. She used bristles and foam brushes and still got bubbles, and she doesn't have a sprayer. Yeah. Any
I can.
tips on how to get the bubbles out?
I have a tip that might help. And when I'm using the polyacrylic, I I put it on slowly. For one thing, I'm not like slapping it on, even if I did that with paint. But if you did that with like a clear acrylic, you can get some bubbles if you go fast. So I go slow with a brush, and then I have a damp foam roller. But I get this. I just get them at Lowe's. They're super super dense. They're almost hard when you feel it, but it's a foam, and they're a little tiny thing, so you can put them anywhere. And the foam, instead of having flat edges, it actually has like a bullet end on one end, so you can literally get into all the cracks. But I put the top coat on with a brush, and then I roll it out with a roller. And I roll it and just do that like several times. And it does take a long time, but the finish is perfect.
Yeah, that's the polyacrylic we're
Absolutely
talking about,
perfect.
right? Polyacrylic, polyacrylic.
Well, I mean, even yeah, I mean, you can use that. I
What
have
was
used that. Yeah,
polyurethane?
I don't use polyurethane. I can't even remember the last time I used polyurethane, but I'm sure it would be the same.
Yeah.
I
It's
think it
funny that
would.
you would it's funny that you would say that order of things, using the brush and then go into the roller, because one of
Uh,
my clients said
Beautiful.
she uses the Dixie Belle Satin Clear Coat, and she said she puts it on with a roller, and then she'll take a real fluffy, like she'll use the oval brush, which is
Yeah.
super fluffy. And she just goes over that, and she says it's like magic. And I started
Oh
doing
yeah.
that, and I really love the way it
Yeah,
does it.
yeah.
But it has to be that brush has to be kept in pristine condition, super
Right.
soft
Right.
bristles, and then it does the job. So it's funny
Yeah.
though,
Right.
it's the opposite way, but
Yeah. Interesting. I
Yeah,
wonder if it even matters
I've
which one you do.
had a lot of trouble when I use any type of polyacrylic if I'm covering something. And I've tried all applications. I've tried brush, sponge, spray. Yes, of course, spray is going to give you the best finish,
Yeah.
like manufacturer finish.
Right.
But usually I will only do that if I have a larger piece that I have to cover. Brushing for me, I do get some bubbles. Sponging gives me the worst bubbles. And
Yeah,
I
I've had
think
that.
it goes back to what Kat said. If you put it on with the sponge, you have to go over the top of it lightly with something else to get those bubbles to come off, and just do like a small section at a time.
Yeah, and the coating has to be really, really thin.
Yes.
I think the water actually helps with that. I'm not saying I soak the sponge roller, but it's good and dampened, when I squeeze it out
Mhm.
with my hands. But it's good
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
damp, and it takes me a while to do it. And but by the time I'm done, like if it's just a little dresser, by the time I'm done at the end, the beginning is dry, so I can almost
Yeah.
go back. It takes that long though, but I
Right.
probably do like 5 or 6 coats.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful finish though.
Yeah. My tip is when you're using polyacrylic or polyurethane, just like with the gator hide, add a little bit of paint to it. And you shouldn't have those issues with bubbles at all. It almost like changes the formula or something.
Yes, I've sprayed gator hide too through my sprayer. Worked fine.
Mm-hmm.
I like gator hide. If I need that water resist, this
Yeah.
is best.
Yeah. Is Gator Hide a water-based product or is it an oil-based? It is
It
water-based.
is
Okay.
water-based. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So, um, and then I have my list here. And I have tried from Levon's list, I've tried the polyacrylic and the polyurethane and hemp oil. I guess we found out that's different than hemp seed oil. So I've tried hemp oil, which is not on my list. But one product I've tried that I really liked is this is DIY paint brand Big Top After Show. This was very easy to apply and it seemed to be very durable. I guess the only bad con would be it's kind of expensive. And then I've used Waverly varnish, and it's okay for a budget friendly thing. I don't know if this is really going to be super durable. I mean, it's fair, it's pretty cheap, but I guess if
Never
you are,
tried.
yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's easy to apply. And you can do the same thing. You can add your paint to it and, tint it. Another one that I really liked is this Miss Lillian's. It's lackluster.
Oh, that looks pretty.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, I was really surprised by this stuff because it's very thin and very watery. And I've only used it a few times because again, it's quite expensive. But I had gotten some on my nail polish, and I could not get that stuff off of my nail polish. And that's pretty good. Like I was like, like come on, So yeah, it didn't come off until my nail grew out. So
Yeah.
Wow.
Top coat is usually my nail polish.
oh, there you go. It strengthens your nails, doesn't it, there, Dar?
Yes. It doesn't come off, so
Yeah.
I've got nail polish on.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the only polish I ever have.
Right. So try that stuff, you guys, and let me know what you think about it because I did like this one, and that's really kind of. I mean, have you guys even heard of this stuff?
No.
Okay.
I've heard of Miss Lillian's, but not
Yeah.
the lackluster.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to what I said before about pretty much every paint company seems like they have their own top coat products.
Yeah.
So she just the same. She has her own top coat, and I discovered this product when I went to visit Tanglewood Sue. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. She's also a YouTuber. And I just showed up at her studio one day, and I swear I'm not like a weirdo or anything. It said she had hours, but apparently she closed her store down. And
Oh, no.
I pull up, and she's like, "Who's here?" And me and Nathan are like, "Hey," and I'm like. She's like, oh, I'm like, it said on Google you had your hours were between, such and such. She's like, oh, I thought I changed that. I was like, okay. Anyways, so I bought some Miss Lillian products from her, and that was one of the products that I had bought. Another one I had tried is this Rust-Oleum chalked matte clear, and that seemed to be pretty good too. For being a more inexpensive product, and you can purchase that on Amazon or Walmart. I think even sells it.
It says protective top coat. So is that like all in one then?
This is not their chalk paint. This is their top coat.
Oh,
so,
gotcha. I see that.
Yeah, this is the product that goes over top of the Rust-Oleum chalk paint, or whatever paint you want to put it over top of.
And then you had another one you put up there. It said indoor and outdoor, and I can't remember which one it was. No. Yes, maybe. Yes.
Okay. This is the Waverly varnish. So,
is that water based?
That's water based. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a water based one. So, wipe on poly. Have you guys tried this stuff?
No, I have
Okay.
some. Maybe I should.
I don't. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. I've tried it. I don't feel like it's very durable. It's very thin. But I think if you're using it on maybe like a area that's not going to get a lot of high traffic or anything like that, it'll probably be okay. So I have tried this one in the past. One of my favorite products that I used to use all the time is lacquer. And you can spray this. This is oil based. The reason I don't really use it anymore is because you see this little skeleton thing on there. You see that? It smells really bad. It's very the
It has a
fume.
lot of VOCs.
It
Yeah.
sure does. It's highly toxic, and I can't handle it anymore. And I probably, did a number on myself using it all those years and not wearing a face mask or anything like that. So if you're using that, make sure you use a respirator, but it is an oil-based product. I will brush it on, but you can spray it. I like to brush it on, but I will thin it down with lacquer thinner. And I just put a couple of little bloops in there, and and that's usually enough until it seems like it's not super thick when I stir it, all the lacquer thinner in, and it just makes the brush strokes go really easy and they level out really nice. So that's how I like to apply that. And then, of course, there's all the other various waxes, Waverly waxes and other waxes. But like LaVon was saying, with some of the waxes, I feel like that's not a long-term solution. I have heard before that waxes do need to be reapplied after, so long.
6 months was what I always thought.
Yeah. So I didn't know how true that was, but you guys just confirmed that for me. The Miniwax furniture wax, this stuff, I've used it as well, and it seems to be okay, but holy smokes, does that stuff stink also. That stuff smells really, really bad.
Really? Because I love the smell of the Dixie Belle wax. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, this one doesn't smell nice.
Oh, and by the way, even though when I mentioned that scented, so there's been times when I've been out of clear wax and I used the scented on the outside of my furniture. It works fine.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, that's a lot of, I couldn't think of any other products I had used. I wanted to touch a little bit on all of the products that I've tried. There could be something else, but a lot of times I'll get stuff on clearance and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to try this. It's half off. Why not? So I will try it. But my favorites are probably most definitely like the Miss Lillian's, the brushing lacquer, and I do use the polyacrylic or the polyurethane quite often, which I like it, but it doesn't seem to be as durable as like a lacquer is, with being it's an oil based. And the lacquer also does come in a spray can formula if you just want to do like chair rungs or something and you don't want to paint the stupid rungs by hand. I know that's LaVon loves that, so send all your rungs to LaVon.
Yes. Send me your spindles.
Yeah, that's her favorite. Okay.
Instead of send me you're tired and hungry, it's send me your spindles.
Yeah.
I have used Annie Sloan's top coat, and it was in matte. It is water based. I did like it. It seemed to go on very nice, and it's gave it good protection. I've done a couple pieces that I've already sold with that in it, so I like that. I was thinking when LaVon showed her easy peasy, she taught me a trick about that, which I wasn't aware. you have to shake that bottle till you don't hear that liquid in there anymore, because you got to shake it up. And once you don't hear the liquid moving around in there, then you know you're ready to spray. And I will actually use it like on my furniture at my house, kind of like for dusting. And
Oh,
I really do like that. I don't think I've used any other products that you guys have not already mentioned. I've pretty much used mainly Dixie Belle, polycrylic, some Minwax, and some Annie Sloan. So I have not branched out into all them other ones, but that's really great to know. Other than like some spray lacquer, and now it's slipping my mind. This is a cat question. What are we spraying on there that we just want that bleeds through to stop? What is it called?
I
Oh,
know.
shellac.
Yeah, shellac. Yep.
Black.
Yeah.
So spray shellac if I'm having a bleed through issue, and then maybe some spray lacquer out of a can as well. I've never done lacquer out of a can, just like for brushing,
Yeah.
but just from a spray can. So I'm kind of living a sheltered life. You guys are out there being, wide to the world.
We're
Let's
adventurous.
I think when I find something, I stick with it. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's totally fine. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. What do you like to say, Levon? You can't teach an old dog new tricks or
I'm an
something
old
like
dog, man.
So I mean, and there's nothing wrong with it. I like trying new things, and I mean, and especially if I see something really super cheap, heck yeah, I'm gonna try it.
I agree.
Not.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You're a trailblazer.
yeah, I'm the pioneer.
No, I had. I'm hoping the gal came on tonight to watch us, because I told her we were going to talk about it.
Mhm.
She's redoing a vintage high chair like I did way back, and I wanted to keep that little decal that was on there, and I wanted to give that wood some kind of a drink, and she was really wondering between a wax and doing the hemp oil. And I did the hemp oil, let that, I've done it on a couple things, let that hemp oil dry and cure before I put that polycrylic top coat on. And she was wondering about putting a wax on it and then a top coat. And I said, I don't think that is going to work, because the wax is meant to stay on the top, and that hemp oil is meant to soak in. And Crystal, I believe you told me that hemp oil is drying.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I read something, I guess, an article when I first started using the hemp oil. Learning about it and everything, and I found out it is a drying oil. And I guess a lady's husband, she had a container of hemp oil, and he's like, "Oh, I need to shine my tires. I'm going to try this." So he took the hemp oil, shined up his tires. Oh, they were shiny, and so they were dry and holy and cracky.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's it's one good thing to know about it. Don't use it on leather. Don't use it on rubber. Anything that when it gets down into those pores, it's going to dry and disintegrate it. So crack it all up.
So I think really how to use that well on old pieces you take back down to raw wood. I was it you that said it, or Levon right now? Keep putting that drying oil on until it doesn't soak down anymore, and you've got some laying on the surface. Then if it's laying on the surface and you finally, get that excess off, I would think that the oil portion that your wood needs, it would have been met.
Yeah.
If it's laying on the top.
That's what Levon said. Yeah, that's what she said. It can't absorb anymore. It's done. It's like, no, thank you.
But
I'm good.
get your cure time in there so it is good and cured. I put mine in the sun, probably the wrong thing to do before I put my top coat on. But I gave that height chair back to the lady that grew up in the house that I got it out of the basement from. And I mean, I knew her, and I had it sitting here for a couple years, and I thought, why don't I just give that back to her? Because she probably was in that high chair.
Yeah.
And she was just so thrilled because she was just about to have her first grandchild.
Aw, that's so sweet.
So good timing on my part, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I have Kat's list up here. So if you want to tell us about the products you have and what your experience are with them are.
Yeah, you can take that down actually.
Okay.
I spelled some stuff wrong up there. I'm sorry.
It's all right. No worries.
Yeah, no, I'll just be organic and we'll just talk about what we've been talking about. It depends on the piece that I'm doing, but I think since I do a fair amount of restoration, it depends on what time of the century that the piece was actually built. I tend to use whatever product they might have used back there. And Gretchen says tongue oil. And yeah, that's a good oil to use. Pure tongue oil is expensive. But yes, I love oils. I am a big oil person. But for clear acrylic, I use General Finishes, flat out flat. Crystal, if you like a matte finish, I don't think you can get any more matte than flat out flat. They have another flat finish, General Finishes. It's a little heavier and it's a little more protective because when you go to the matte finishes, they're typically not as protective as the higher the gloss, the more protection you're going to get, I think, which is why a lot of people use like polyurethane on a tabletop or something like that. Yeah, it's more,
Okay.
it's more protective. But who cares about protection? I just, I just go with what I like. But I put, just to say, when I'm using something like that, which I don't usually use that on a restoration piece anyway. But if I was doing like a piece, I don't know, I might even go over chalk paint with it or something like that. I would use that flat out flat, and just like with the brush and the roller, it goes on really well. Um, And for the lacquer, I don't have a sprayer. I'd love to have a sprayer, but I don't have one. But I use it. I have used it in the can. And of course, I think I know everything, right? So I take out my lacquer and I threw some pigment in it. And it just went into these like balls of clay. And I said, oh, you can't tint lacquer. But I like spraying it on. It's an old finish. It's a super hard finish. But those oil lacquers, they yellow and they crack and they don't last really because they have better finishes now. It's just one of those things. But they have a water-based lacquer that actually works a little bit better, and you can get that in a spray can. Um, I love oils, but that's like for stains and stuff like that. I love shellac, but I use a lot of layers of different products. Like you can put your pigment in shellac. So I could just talk all day about the different things you can do with shellac. But often when I'm doing a finish, it's many layers of different things. And usually, whatever lives friendly, and with shellac is one of those things you can use it with anything. It won't, it won't react with any of your other finishes. And you can put your flat out flat over it, and then on the flat out flat, I finish with a furniture wax. I love waxes, and I have never reapplied wax on a piece of furniture that I own. But that's just me. I don't know. I haven't had to.
I never have either. I mean, they say you're supposed to, but I haven't either, to be honest.
Um, um, I think if you do, here's my thought. Once it comes into the house, it's never going to be as clean as it is when it comes out of your factory. And so when you reapply the wax, you're actually putting in a little bit of dust, and that dust is going to cling to the wax and it's going to bond to each other. And I think that's why a lot of people say, oh, look, this has wax on it. They'll just take their fingernail and pull the wax off. Wax isn't supposed to be like that. Wax is supposed to dry like hard as a rock. It dries as hard as a rock. It shouldn't be slippery, um, and you shouldn't have to reapply it. But like you said, Crystal, about like a 30-day product, you don't put anything on a shellacked piece for 30 days. Don't touch it. Just leave it and enjoy it and look at it.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you, Kat, because this one has mystified me for the last 4 years.
Ooh.
I'm dirty. When you get an old piece of furniture, and
I thought you were going to say when you get old.
so I'm back.
Kat, what happens when you get old?
I'm an old piece of
Well,
furniture.
what the heck?
When you go to wash it, some pieces will leave like that milky white
Yeah.
residue like on it. Like, what is that? Was that lacquer on that piece, or was that shellac on that piece?
Say it again. When you did what?
Let's say you bring a piece home and it's pretty dirty, and I'm notorious for taking it outside with the hose and washing it and then
Yeah.
sterilizing it in the sun. And it seems like on some of those old pieces, don't have to necessarily be old,
Yeah.
but when you wash it and like that water is sitting on there, you get that milk white residue or like the outline from where that water was at. Is that telling me there was shellac on there? Or
I think it's telling you that the water is like a solution. So it can actually, it doesn't really bond, but it acts as a solid, and it's dissolving some of the finish. And that's what I think. I'm just guessing.
so
I think
could,
that's what
it
you're
could
saying.
be either then. It could be shellac or varnish, and just
Yeah, I
it's a
think
matter
so.
of how old the piece is and how degraded that previous top coat is then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Um, when you say varnish, I think of varnish is like kind of a general term. It means some kind of top coat. So it's kind of not specific unless you're buying a particular like brand that they're calling it a varnish. But it could be anything. It could be probably most likely shellac, but shellac or lacquer, that would be my guess. You can get that same thing too if you put a little bit of denatured alcohol in it on the top of it. When you wipe it down.
Yeah. So I've got these other couple of pictures on here of some products you said you use. So this is walrus oil. Is this the exact stuff you use? Is the Danish oil or?
That's different. I use it just says walrus oil, and it's not from a walrus. It has all these different oils. Yeah,
Poor walrus.
just squeeze that walrus really tight.
Yeah.
It's got a number of things in it. Let me look. I don't know. It has a number of different oils in it, and I love it. It's not a super tough finish, but I would use that on a piece that's not going to get a lot of abuse. Like a little end table that you want it to be beautiful and you want the wood to really glow.
Okay.
Walrus oil is really good for that, and I use like a wax over it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Another one you have here is tongue oil. Is that kind of the same thing as the walrus oil?
no, this is like a cheap imitation. So the Minwax, people fight about. I don't know. People fight about whether or not there's really tongue oil in that Minwax. They call it tongue oil. If it does have tongue oil in it, it's like just a tiny amount because that stuff's cheap. I do use it sometimes. I use Minwax tongue oil if I don't, if I'm not like highly invested in the product, not product, but the project.
Okay.
Uh, and
Okay.
I have a good time with it.
Okay.
Walrus oil. There's another one. It's
I I have this one here too, the spar urethane.
yeah, that's the closest I ever get to polyurethane. That's a beast. If
Okay,
you need
that's
something that's going to be protective, um, that'll do it for you. I
okay.
don't like using it because I don't really like those kind of finishes, but they work well. And
What do you mean by you don't like that kind of finish? Is it really
part of the thing for me is the aesthetic.
okay?
And if I'm doing something like I want it to feel beautiful as well as look beautiful in the end, there's something about using those urethanes that aren't that much fun. And
Okay. So you mean like the feel of it,
the
the end
feel of it, I
okay.
could polish wood with oil forever. Like I could fall asleep out there, because it's rewarding and you can see the finish and it's just very rewarding. I would say spar urethane isn't rewarding until the end because you know that if it gets wet, it's very protected.
Yeah. Okay. I have one more here that I know I've seen. I don't know. I think I've seen you use it, Kat, but I know I've seen Angie use it from Transcend Furniture Gallery, and she swears by this stuff.
I
I
had that
use
on
it.
my list to bring up. I thought about it when you guys were
Yeah.
talking.
That's
Mhm.
out of my league. So
Okay. You
I
haven't
can't.
tried it then.
Yes, I've
I
used
haven't
it.
tried it. I don't think I need it. I think people who use it, they use it and they're just dedicated to it. Kind of like a surf prep sander.
Okay.
That you're really into it. People are really into the. That's a hard wax oil, so it's a combination of wax and oil. And I bet I would love it, but it's so expensive.
Oh,
I would never. What's the most expensive product I've used? Probably some of the
Well, I mean, everything's gone up like $10. It's all doubled, so it's all expensive now.
that little can of General Finishes flat out flat is like $32.
Wow.
So that's not cheap stuff. Neither is Waterlocks. That's kind of expensive. But
Yeah,
Odie's oil is even more. I want to say it's
yeah.
about $40 for a
Oh
little
no, I think
can.
it's more than that. I think it's like
yeah, yeah.
65. Yeah,
56,
No,
yeah.
my
56
customers
bucks.
don't pay that much money. She probably charges way more than I do.
Yeah. So this way,
Well,
I know Mara's in the chat right now. Like, how far does that go? That
Oh,
Odie's
little
a
oil.
jar.
long way.
Odie's oil. Yes, I have
Okay.
it.
Okay,
I've
you have
used
it,
it.
Dar. Yes.
Yes, love it.
I've used it, and
Yeah,
I used it on a chair. And there's two different kinds. Actually, I think three different kinds of Odie's products.
yeah,
Okay.
One of them is more liquid, like actual oil. So when you open up the jar, it's soft,
yeah.
liquidy.
Okay.
And that's the one that's going to kind of soak into your wood. Then after that, then they recommend putting this actual, it's like a hard wax.
Okay.
So it's a different type product. And put that over the top again, and then you buff it. Looks beautiful, but that chair of mine, I'm trying to remember, it was my husband's little kid chair, and then my father-in-law used it. It's probably been 2 years maybe since I've done that, and it
Okay.
needs to be redone. I mean, the oil is soaked in and the wax, so I need to clean it off and then put the Odie's oil back on it. So I would say it probably lasts longer, of course, than a hemp oil, but
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
it is expensive, and I've had that jar of oil for a very long time, and there's still some in there because you
Okay.
don't really need to use a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that even though it's small, seems like it goes far.
Yeah.
I
Right.
believe it. Yeah.
Okay. So you might be paying $55, but it might get you 10 projects.
I still have it, and it's probably going on 3 years.
Okay. So, oh, yeah, that makes sense then. I mean, if it's going to get you, that many projects done, I guess it could be worth spending that much, but then you have to buy the polishing pads and everything like that, right?
I just used my rags and my hand and just did it by hand. But
Okay.
now I'm just noticing what Mara is seeing here. It sort of has a shelf life, and you have to vacuum it closed to get longevity.
Okay.
Oh.
Interesting.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Real quick, jeez.
Okay. Yeah, you might want to check on it then. See how your little baby Odie's doing.
I didn't do that, but I can say yes, I've seen the changes over the years that I've had it. And the
Okay.
last time that I opened it, I set it out in the sun to get it to liquefy a little bit more. So,
Okay.
Mara's probably got the right answer on that one. If it's a product that you like, it's expensive, and you want to keep it, and you have a vacuum sealer, which sometimes I will do with a lot of projects or products, throw them in a vacuum sealed bag and seal that bag up.
Okay.
Works.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, or if you have one of those jar sealers, for I don't know if it's for canning or not canning, like, I don't know, dried goods or whatever. And also, Mara said surface has to be sanded very fine for sheen. Okay. So you have to sand the surface really finely. So
Well, yeah, I think that's why they maybe created that other product, that top wax, because they're recommending you put that on the top and then buff it.
Okay.
Yeah, when they showed them buffing it, the guy had a big commercial buffer, so
Okay. Yeah.
he was really buffing it.
All right.
I
Yeah.
didn't get my big commercial buffer out. Nope.
Oh gosh. Well, and I also have some paints here. So like Lavon was saying, that there are some paints with built-in sealers. So I had the girls help me get together a list of different paints with sealers in it. These are some I have used, and some the girls have used. I've used Wise Owl 1 hour enamel before, Heirlooms Traditions paint, Miss Lillian's No Wax chalk paint, Fusion mineral paint, General Finishes milk paint. That stuff is legit. Okay. That stuff, holy cow, it's like hard as diamonds.
Really?
It's good.
I haven't tried mine. I bought it because you were saying it was the same color and everything.
You would be really surprised because it doesn't seem like it would, because it's so thin. It's a very thinner paint, but and you might need a couple of coats more than it's tough. I mean, I did seal it afterwards. I probably didn't need to, because that's just how I am. I'm like, oh, well, little extra durability is good for me. I mean, I know I'm never going to probably get as good as like a factory finish durability probably ever in my life, but I want to try. um, and HTP, they, if you guys haven't tried it yet, they always give a free sample. So I think all you have to do is pay for the shipping, which is like $6 or $7. So they'll give you a free sample, which, it does a small project. I think I had one jar of it it wasn't actually a small project. I did a vanity with it. And it seems to be okay. I mean, I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I did go back and I bought some a larger container afterwards that it was a white color, which it didn't have good coverage. I was not happy with the coverage of it. It's like, well, I probably should have did a primer because it didn't cover well. And then I know Levon and Dar and Kat, you may have too, used the Dixie Belle Silk all-in-one paint.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. So
I have some, but I haven't used it.
And then there's the Melange one and the Benjamin more advanced. So, really quick, Levon has some inspo pics here that she took at Home Goods, right? Is that where it was? Home Goods? Okay. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Hey, some people are happy when I'm muted.
Like your lips are moving, but I can't hear them. So here's some inspo pics that she took. So
yeah, we just got a new Home Goods.
Yeah.
And, I was walking around and I kept getting all this inspiration, but I thought, these are finishes that we can replicate, on furniture pieces. It would be kind of fun to do some of these different things.
Oh, I love the peacocks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love dinnerware, but I thought, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be beautiful on a furniture piece?
Heck yes, it would have.
And how easy would this be to do?
So easy.
Yeah.
Like trim pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff's cheap, and just use, one of those little trim cutters,
Yeah, the miter
shears.
Those ones Mara showed us.
Yeah, the Mara episode.
Yeah. Yep, the miter shears. And I just thought that was so pretty. I just thought that would be a pretty pattern, you could stencil or something. I like the colors and everything. It's just really pretty.
Very like watercolor looking. This is pretty.
And that I just keep thinking about, well, I've been doing this resin, but I just keep thinking you could even use like air dry clay and impress something into the surface to give it that texture. Yes. I just think it would be cool.
Absolutely.
Before you go on, I just wanted to say, you were saying, Dar, about wax and the order of things, and this doesn't really rhyme, but for some reason it resonates with me. But just wax is last, that's just the expression. It's just like, yeah. And yes and no, because the Dixie Belle wax is a water-based. Once it is cured, you can seal over it, but I would say to the advice I give to customers, if they're kind of novice, don't do it. Just do the wax last.
Yeah. And another thing to remember is oil and water do not mix. But I can't remember what order it shouldn't be applied. And I'm sure I've done it, and it works fine. I can't remember if it's water over oil you shouldn't do, or if it's oil over water you shouldn't do the product. You shouldn't
just like you were saying, Levon, if you haven't done it before, don't do it.
Yes.
Right. Especially if it's a heirloom piece,
Yeah, but you can do either. It's just that if you use oil first, you have to let it dry for
you have to wait the cure time for sure.
Yeah. So it depends on the oil. It depends on the wood, like how porous is your finish. That's why I say don't do it, is because it depends on many things that you may not know just offhand if you're not used to working with wood.
Yeah.
Another note that I wanted to throw in on sealers is the different things you can do with them besides sealing, like the water based sealers. You can use it as a decoupage medium.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's like better suited to lighter papers, like rice paper, or tissue
Mhm.
paper, or like napkin or something like that. But that is one thing you can do with it. And also, I am not brave enough to do it. I shouldn't say that, because I've tried it and I've had limited success. But some people have great success by using um, sealers with paint inlays.
Oh yes, I've
I
seen
Oh,
that before too, but you only get a time use out of your paint.
Yes, right.
And those bad boys are not cheap.
No.
So if you screw one of them up, that's got to be sad.
Yeah, so I kind of stay away from that. I'd rather
Yeah.
use it in the paint. But
Yeah, but that would be really beautiful if you wanted to put a transfer over like a wood finish and have the wood grain behind it or something. So I could see
right.
that really being beautiful. Well, we have already reached our hour.
no, but
I
I gotta say
know.
something. I gotta
Say
say,
it, say
gotta say it. Gretchen brought up Rubio Monocoat.
Yeah.
And what is that? I've never tried that. When you see people use that, they're like pouring it on and they have like a little scraper and they just they scrape it all over and it looks like magic. I
I
don't know.
know.
Used it.
I've never tried it.
And it's a hard wax oil, like Odie's hard wax
Okay.
oil.
So it must change because it goes on liquid and then it must have
Yeah,
something
I don't
in it.
know. Because
Yeah, we're gonna have to find out about that
I
one.
bet
Maybe
that's not cheap either,
No.
Probably not. Oh,
Oh, great.
and you know what, Levon, we didn't even touch on resin as being a sealer, but I guess like
That
I
is
said,
very true. Yeah,
yeah,
I
like,
guess we're gonna have resin night one of these nights.
yeah, we need to. Like I
Yes,
said,
that is a good sealer.
right. Like I said, I was worried we weren't going to have we
Enough.
weren't going to be able enough to have enough stuff to talk about, but I mean, we could go on and on, really.
Oh, I
Well,
knew
I
you
have to
would
say
have
something
enough.
before we
I
go.
knew
That
you would have enough, Crystal. You should have just consulted with the bunch psychic here.
I just have to tell you what I'm excited about for this weekend. So we're going to be going to DC for the weekend. No, not that far.
Cool.
We're going to DC for the weekend, and it's a bowling conference, proprietors conference, and he's going to be in meetings on Sunday. So Gretchen's going to come pick me up at our hotel, and we are going to drive down to Jenna's new store and help her. And I'm so
sorry,
excited
I'm so
to
jealous.
see these
We
ladies
want
in person.
pictures.
And of course, I do love merchandising and stuff like that. So I'm going to have fun doing that. But I'm so thrilled. And I hope to meet them both and
Like so
cruise in
much
Gretchen's new car.
You are going to have so much fun. You better
Oh.
Yeah,
send
I'm
us
really
all
looking
kinds
forward
of
to it.
pictures. Yeah, that's going to be so good. Oh, hey, Cheryl. Okay, so I have our Flippin' Bunch text live if you want to get notified. And our lovely Levon does all of this. She's so wonderful.
Oh, gee.
So if you are new here and you want to be reminded of your of our live notifications via text message, text this number and you'll get put on the list. As well as here is our Flippin' Bunch Gmail if you would prefer to get notified via Flippin' Bunch Gmail. Here it is. Also, another thing we wanted to chat about really quick too. We had discussed having our viewers send us in pictures of their work so we can either do an episode on it, do a show on it, or just showcase weekly some of your work that you are really proud of. And you want to see it, go on YouTube. So
Or maybe something you have questions about that,
you have questions about. Absolutely.
you want our input on a technique, get the cumulative
Yep.
consensus on what we would do or how we would handle it.
Absolutely. So send us your pieces, finished or not. If you're something you're proud of, we'd love to share it. Or if it's something you have questions about, or need advice, or just need a second opinion, or need help with it. You can't seem to find inspiration for it, because us ladies like to help each other all the time, and we're giving
Definitely.
each other new ideas all the time and looking at it from a different perspective. So we would love to help you out with that. So you can not text us, email it to that Flippin Bunch Gmail, or you can send it to one of our accounts, our Facebook or Instagram accounts, if that's easier for you. And with that being said, I guess we're done for the night.
Yeah, one more thing though, we have Christmas in July coming up on July 20th. The Flippin Bunch is, hosting this collaboration. So any flippers out there, keep in mind we're gonna have Christmas in July.
Yes, and then there is our Clueless challenge is coming up too.
Oh yeah.
And yes. Okay, I have to remember the date on that one. So that is a furniture flipping challenge that Mara from Borderline Furniture RX and I are hosting. Mara,
August 2nd.
August 2nd. Okay, thank you so much. August 2nd, and the theme is Clueless. So you take a piece of furniture that you're clueless about, may have been sitting there for a long time, and flip it. So we're excited about that. We're excited about the Flippin Bunch challenge, Christmas in July. So, and that's not a furniture challenge, right? That's a thrift challenge. I don't know if you said that.
Gretchen, maybe this can be your debut video then.
Yeah.
We'll get you started here.
Yeah.
I'll talk you into it in the car.
Yeah, for sure. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And I know I have learned a lot from these ladies and everybody in the chat, giving us advice as well. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you all being here with us and supporting us. And I'm so happy we are here tonight on our Flippin Bunch channel. It's just so good.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Yes,
thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you, everyone, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.